Okay, this is a solution to topic 5, straight lines, parallel and perpendicular lines. Question 4 says, write down the equation of a line perpendicular to y is equal to 2x plus 3. Okay, now what confuses people here is there's an infinite amount of lines which are perpendicular to y equals 2x plus 3. So if I just sketched y equals 2x plus 3, and you don't have to do this by the way, there's your line, a rough idea of what a line y equals 2x plus 3 looks like. And if I just do in red, this line would be perpendicular to it, so would this one, so would this one, and there's an infinite amount of lines which are perpendicular. So basically what you have to do is just look and get the gradient sorted out. So if you look at this line, this is the original line, m is 2, which means that the gradient of this particular line is 2. That means our gradient, and if you remember how you get that, it's a negative reciprocal. So 2 you could think of being as 2 over 1. So the negative reciprocal means you change the sign of it. So if it was positive, you'd make it negative. If it was negative, you would make it positive. And you flip it upside down. So it was 2 over 1, that flips to become 1 over 2. And also it was positive 2 over 1, so it becomes negative 1 over 2. So our line is y is equal to minus a half x. And minus a half x is definitely perpendicular to it. You can add in any number here at all, so I'm just going to put in 17 because that's the first thing that came into my head. So minus a half x plus 17, and that would be perpendicular. Now what may confuse people is in the answer they maybe don't like to have that half, so what they do is they multiply everything by 2 and you get 2y is equal to minus x plus, and then it's 17 times 2, which is going to be 34. So that's maybe the way that this format here is maybe the way they've given it in the answer, which is maybe confuse people, but that's it. So there we have it. There was your question 4. I think you also had to do question 5. Let me just pause the video and have a look at it here. Okay, question 5 says, write down the equation of a line which is perpendicular to y is equal to a half x plus something plus 3, not really very important, and it also has to pass through the point which is 0 minus 1. Okay, so it has to be perpendicular to this line here and also pass through 0 minus 1. First thing I'm going to identify is a gradient. So this is the original line, the gradient is a half. That means our gradient is a negative reciprocal of that. So if you turn that upside down, you'll have 2 over 1 and change the sign, make it minus. So minus 2 over 1 is the same as minus 2. So our line so far, remember the general equation of a straight line is y is equal to mx plus c. So we know our gradient is minus 2, so y is equal to minus 2x plus c. Okay, how on earth do we find this bit? How do we find this c? Well, to find c, you can substitute in this point, because you know this point, 0 minus 1, is on your line. So we're just going to say sub in. So sub in, just like in hockey or rugby, if you're substituted, you mean you're replaced. So that means we're going to replace our x with 0, and we're going to replace our y with minus 1. So everywhere you see x, you replace it with 0. Everywhere you see y, you replace it with minus 1. So we're going to have minus 1 is equal to minus 2 times 0 plus c, which means minus 1 is equal to c. And then just rewrite your equation like any good little mathematician, and you will say y is equal to minus 2x minus 1. And I can't see them giving their answer any other way, really. That's a pretty nice way to write it. So your answer is y is equal to minus 2x minus 1.